This is a RacinDirt.com production. RacinDirt.com. Getting the dirt on racing.
couple of cautions really changed the dynamic of the race. Let's start first right at the very beginning. You fought Terry Beckham for a couple of laps, so you were all over the place. Was it just a matter of you trying to figure out how the track had changed since you'd last been on it, and try to kind of hit your marks and pick your point there to get around him?
Well, I knew the top would probably be the preferred line to momentum around it since it was so slick. And Terry loves the top, and I figured he'd be wanting to get up there as soon as possible. And he actually kind of stuck around the bottom there for a couple laps, and we were able to get rolling. And once we got our momentum up, was able to drive by him. And we got into lap traffic there on a couple of those cautions, or on the first long green flag run. And my crew guy was showing they were reeling us in, and guys were racing side by side. I just couldn't really do much. But as far as the cautions, they really worked out pretty well in our favor. And then just being able to get by Terry early before he was able to get on the top, that really helped us also.
The first restart there after lap 15, what's your mindset there when you take off there after the first yellow flag?
Just kind of protecting the bottom a little bit for the first lap until I can get my momentum up. Once we got going and I didn't see anybody on the bottom, I was able to just kind of get back up and go back to rhythm and get back to doing what I was doing. Just get a good lap and a half in, and just kind of get back to rhythm and go from there.
You run 8 more laps. The final yellow comes out. You restart on lap 23. At that point, Johnny Bone was really rolling the bottom well. You had to know, he really benefited from the yellows too, because before the first one came out, he was battling 4th, 5th, somewhere around in there. He'd worked his way up to second, which you probably figured he would, was really rolling the bottom. What did you think at that point? He really hadn't shown you his nose, but I think under the yellow flag, you could have probably looked out going down the back straightaway and saw that he was up to second.
Yeah, we heard it on the race receiver, and my crew guy told me, so I knew where Johnny was going to be running. He was going to be running the bottom. I knew he would be. So on the restart, I just kind of went into turn 1 and diamond across and tried to kill his momentum down the backstretch, and just got back up and rolled the top. And I actually found something the last few laps. I went about another half a groove higher in 3 and 4. That really helped out a lot. I was able to beat him off of 4. He was better than me in 1 and 2. But, rolling the bottom down there. But as long as I could beat him off turn 4, that's the only place that mattered, I guess.
The last couple of laps, you guys are really close. You always had the preferred line. You were able to carry the momentum and the speed. He had the opportunity to throw a slide job or a door slam, depending on how it would have happened. I don't really know. Had he really sailed it off in there and really tried to go for it, were you afraid of that? Were you watching for that right at the very end of the last couple of laps?
Not really. Johnny's a clean enough racer. He's not going to do that. If I did it to him to pass him, he's going to give it right back to me. I'm the same way. If somebody does that to me, they're going to get it right back, probably a double dose of it. But, I knew I wasn't really worried about that. I knew he was content with running the bottom, and as long as I could roll the top, I knew I'd be fine up there. I don't know, as a driver's perspective, I didn't feel like he ever got a good enough run on me to clear me on the slide job. It would have been a door slam, as you said, but I really wasn't worried about it.
Here with Johnny Bone Jr. tonight, so runner-up, first yellow, lap 15. You were running somewhere around 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm not sure. You were battling with Carrick and another car as well. You really benefited from the first yellow there at lap 15.
Yeah, Carrick and Just Jr. was running side. They was having a pretty good race, and I'm trying to make it 3 wide, and it wasn't working out real well, but I think I could have eventually got around them. But, yeah, when they had that yellow and, got the outside, which, good or bad, but I made it work. It was that helped a lot. And then I just started kind of racing some different lines, and I found a line down on 1 and 2 earlier in the race, but I never could get down there because Carrick and Jess Jr. was running, side by side. But once I got cleared, I knew that was the line I wanted to take down there. And Dustin, when I got to second, he was running my line in 3 and 4, which kind of hurt me, but that's just part of racing. He's the leader.
Your car control was unbelievable late in the race, that you were able to drive it in so hard. That's where you're able to make up the ground on Dustin. Entries to 1, entries to 3, at least from my vantage point. But a lot of times when you see less experienced drivers, they're not able to hold it there, from the center off, and they wash up the track, and you kind of run the risk of door slamming somebody when you run like that. You just had incredible car control there from the middle to late portions of the race to be able to run that line, knowing it wasn't your preferred line.
Oh, well, thank you, Trenton. I appreciate that. I'm a decent racer, I guess. Oh, no, it's so slick, and I was just trying to, maybe make him make a mistake, or maybe if I didn't hear him for a while, maybe I was going to pull out in front of him, but I wasn't going to be risking it too much. But I had good control. The car was good, just running out of time.
I kind of thought a slide job might be in order late in the race. Didn't look like you quite had the run deep into the corner, and if you would have tried, I think it would have probably been a door slam, and that wouldn't work that well for either of you.
No, I guess I can say it. I'm sure people know that, me and Dustin doesn't have a real good history for racing side by side, so I wasn't going to risk that. And he drove a good race. He drove a good race. You can't take that away from him. I had a pretty good car, maybe better than he did, but that's part of racing, and we'll just go to the next race. I'm tickled we run second. I mean, that's pretty good.
Leading USRA national points, you got just a ton of wins this year. You're working on a new race car. A lot of stress involved with a lot of fun this year. How much fun was that 30 laps tonight?
Oh, that was I was having a blast. I thought we was going to run 40. I wanted to run the 40, but they did tell us on the receivers was just going to run 30. It's getting late. I had a blast. It was fun, even though I didn't win.